All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into September 16th, and I really hope you're ready. This is going to be a crazy week for the stock market. We already had news over the weekend. It is going to have the Fed as well, too. I'm telling you, I'm really excited. There's going to be play, so I hope you guys are ready to go. Make sure you are there because we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. This is not going to be the week to miss, and even the follow-up week after that. We got a lot on our plate. I have some plays I want to talk about, but I really think it's too early to pinpoint the exact plays we're coming into the Fed. And again, the biggest piece of news right now has to do with oil. If you guys didn't hear about it, there was some strike in the Saudi Arabia. Again, we're not going to get into the politics of who did what or what did what, but yada yada yada. The fact is, it is having a huge effect on oil. Some could even argue this was a black swan. Oil futures are already up 10%. We're going to see an effect tomorrow. I definitely think that is going to be a play and something to look at. The strategy to going about it is going to be interesting. How that's going to carry over to the Fed is going to be interesting. And then we got Jerome Powell Wednesday and Thursday. Coupling that with all of the stuff we saw last week, the all-time highs, the momentum, the trade deal, everything. Man, I just hopefully you guys are ready. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Let's get straight into it. Make sure you guys are there in the morning. And most importantly, post your watch list below. This is where we need to source information, everybody. Comment what you're looking at, and we're going to go over these pre-market in the morning before we start trading live. Hi. So right off the bat, like we said, oil is going to be very important. I want to go over those plays, but a lot of you, I've told you guys, this is what I want to come over the weekend. I've been honestly searching all weekend. I've been looking at probabilities, standard deviations, even taking those out of consideration, just trying to find the ultimate play coming into the Fed. And I've said this before, and really I've narrowed it down here to TLT, SLV, and Bank of America, or even XLF. Now, I don't like the fact that they're ETFs, but now this is the key I'm trying to watch here, is how they're going to balance back and forth. So again, I think it's too soon to act, and the key that I'm looking for here is the dates. I am seeing October 18th has gotten a lot cheaper, and so again, and I'm referencing this, if you want to play the Fed this week, again, I will give it to you I will put it into a Google Doc once I have the plays figured out mostly. I'm trying to narrow it down here, but I'm looking, I want to sprinkle some on October 18th, but I mainly want November or even December. If you guys look back to that last TLT play, the key that we got with it was the fact that it had so much time. We are still active in that play up until this week, but those plays have came right back down to the same price. If you guys have, well, this is SLV, but those 145s are pretty much there. So you get to see how important time is, and you could see how prices have changed. But now this is really what I want to look out for. There is TLTs that I like till October 18th, but those only have a month of time. I think they're priced pretty good, and I like them. But my dilemma, and this is where I'm saying it's too early to act. If the jitters come into this next week up until the Fed meeting, and again, this whole issue with oil is going to make a very, very big change. What I'm waiting for here is to see if commodities or bonds are going to take it. And again, how also what we see with the momentum stocks and we want to see what everything rushes into. I even have a secondary play that's falling in line with the dollar, but we would need a lot of moves. But if the dollar had a big move, it would have a big effect on bonds. That's why I'm thinking commodities, and then also ultimately the banks. And what bank stocks have done recently, it leaves a lot of downside rooms, and really the probabilities are very, very skewed. So again, I'm going to go over this live, and as we get I need more time throughout the week, and I'll document this for you guys so you could see. So again, even if I'm just spitting this all over the place, hopefully you're hanging with me. If not, no worries. We're going to cover this. And again, you guys don't need to rush anything and don't force it. Small amounts of money could go a long way, and that's what I'm trying to identify here. But what I'm waiting for here is to see throughout this week, we can be late. And what I mean by that is, take a look here. The red and green is SLV, and here are the prices, some of those options. And again, I'm looking at, these are December options because these are the ones that are still more expensive than the last Fed meeting, July 31st. And that's something you have to be careful for, because a lot of the TLTs and even SLVs, even if you go to October 18th, I like some of the October 18th SLVs. Let's say we go to like these 1750s, but you'll notice these are pretty much the same exact price or slightly more expensive than July 31st, the last Fed meeting. That is expensive. So yes, it did make a big move, and now some people see what could happen, and the same thing exists with TLT. But the fact that you've had 2 months of go by, this contract has 2 months less time, and it's going for a higher price, tell me, is that insurance plan expensive or cheap? It's definitely more expensive. So watch out for that, but this is what I want you guys to see. What made TLT so unique last time, when TLT really started running up, it ran up for about 3, 4, 5 days of a big run up before commodities caught up. Then the commodities SLV stayed the same while TLT kept ripping, and then eventually it caught up. So this is where I'm saying we can be late. We don't know what's going to happen here at this Fed meeting. If something as surprising as even what happened with oil happens, I think we're going to be able to react to SLV. It will react a little bit later. The next big question here is too, what happens with TLT? So that being said, I wanted to get that out the way so that you guys could help me with this thesis. Please watch these contracts and watch these plays. And if you guys spot anything, go watch the options analysis video predicting 1,000 percenters. It's on this channel, and give me some feedback. Work with me here. Let us find this play. Remember, that is how we got the play last time. We came up with a thesis. I presented it to you guys, and I said, hey, let's challenge this thesis and see if we could find the best answer, the best alternative. So let's do it again, baby. But as far as that, watch the plays, because those are the main plays, but I'm not going to get too distracted on them because I think we have a weird dynamic going on. There is a few other plays this week I want to be watching. It's going to be UVXY, SLV, TLT, USO, SCO, UCO, and FedEx. Transports is related here to the whole energy thing we're seeing with oil. But what I'm saying is I don't want to get tunnel vision on TLT or silver, the commodities, simply because it seems like it's going to be so obvious now. We caught it last time with TLT. Nobody saw it, and then it had this big move up. So it seems like it's so obvious. But if the prices come down, I think it's obvious, not obvious, that maybe we go after TLT again, but that just seems too easy for me. So I kind of want to find a different play, but I know what I'm going to focus on, but I don't want to get too big of a tunnel vision. So keep your eyes out for this. But some of the same things I'm seeing with these premium, it applies to UVXY as well too. And it's the same concept, up until 731 till the Fed, it did have a big sell-off, but the sell-off here was a lot faster, a lot quicker. It's going to take a lot more to bring UVXY up, but this could be another opportunity there. So I'm going to be watching those. As far as like SLV, USO, and SCO, these are oil indexes. So USO is the United States Oil Fund. This is literally Halliburton, Schlumberger, Baker Hughes. I think Halliburton and Baker Hughes are the same company now. Man, I'm getting old. But this is going to be more domestic oil, and Trump did announce that he allowed the use of the reserves, and this is the first time we've done that in a long time because of this issue. But watch that. Then you could also watch, this is a short fund, so this is like a UVXY of oil. So watch for the puts on these, but sometimes those puts are going to be expensive. But then UCO is just a ProShares Ultra. It'll go up if oil goes up. So I'm going to be watching those. And again, if you have any other good oil plays, I want to play those. And the thing I don't like about these oil plays, they're cheaper prices. I remember SCO used to be in the couple $100, and again, like any of these ETFs, they split them and do all that. So if you guys know any $50, $100, $150 plays with options, I would prefer those more. So call those out, put them in the watch list, baby. But these are the plays I like, and then FedEx as well. And now this is, again, playing all the news and some of the more broader stuff we have this week. Now, coming into the more specifics, I want to watch McDonald's. McDonald's also comes in line here with Roku. Again, we have the plays, but why I'm bringing these up, you can kind of see they look somewhat similar in a weird way, and this has to do with those momentum stocks. They've been continuously slowing down. So watch for that interaction, but I'm going to keep my eyes out for there. If there is any sort of bounce play too, McDonald's would be a very, very great one. But if this does start to come down and we start to see some more of that momentum apocalypse continue, that could be great on the downside. And then watch too, we've brought up that situation with McDonald's and Home Depot. I'm watching for them. They've been strong and steady. If they keep coming up more, I mean, watch for them to be a leader, but if they do start coming down, they will have downside. I want to watch them. I want to watch Intel and NVIDIA. NVIDIA did fall off more, and I like if we could get a clear-cut direction, NVIDIA will be good for either the downside, or if this is a little bounce and it starts to break up above here, if things go positive, NVIDIA is going to be a great one to the upside. If things kind of come down, they might cuck a little, but they could move really quick, and that's what I'm going to like. So we're going to watch the prices. But then, as far as selling premium and even finding cheap 1,000 percenters, Intel It's not a big mover, but it's been making big moves. So if this persists, I'm going to be all over this one, and I really like it. Then in the midst of all this, we're talking some of these broad stuffs. The things I want to watch here, especially coming in the rate hike, watch how healthcare plays out. This is usually when we've seen these moves last time. But depending what happens there at the Fed, I think we might start to see something with healthcare. And if you look during all of this, here's UNH. Even though it's kind of had some moves and it's been cucking, it hasn't really bounced comparative to anything else in the market. Take a look at Anthem. It's still at the bottom. We have those October spreads still, and those are actually still somewhat profitable. Cigna's bounced a little bit more, but overall you could get an idea of, or you could at least see why we would like these. So keep your eyes on those. And I forgot to even put here Apple. Again, they had a lot of stuff last week with positive, negative, both, again, after the call, and it's going to relate to something else here, too. You've seen how these did a little bit better. Disney did perform good, and they kind of reacted negative. So did Roku after the meeting with Apple. But Disney kind of got a rotation there as if it was a value stock, and it makes sense because they really haven't had too much momentum besides that the streaming announcement. So, again, how they trade around these levels, I think, is going to be important, and Disney could be a really, really good one to watch there. So I like Disney. I like Roku and Shopify, but then also don't forget about Netflix. And again, tying this all back into Apple, I want to see those, and Netflix was hanging out here towards the low. So hopefully you could see there has been a lot of big moves, and this is where I want you guys to keep your eyes out for. What is hanging out towards the bottom? What is bounced? What hasn't bounced? What is following with the market? What is responding to individual news, global events, all of that? Because you're getting a lot of, it's a weird cat dog push pull now, and with something like with what we saw with the momentum stocks selling off as much as they did, that is a very big push pull. So what that could implicate, it could be big, and again, we're right around the corner from a huge news week. So watch those. I like those. Roku and Shopify, like I said, I'm waiting for Shopify to do its thing, but you can see it looks just like the McDonald's or the Roku that we've been seeing, unfortunately. But again, if that does start to break out and do its thing, those will be good plays. And then lastly, I grabbed the puts last week on Friday on Baidu. I think they're pretty weak despite some of the positive China news. I think they're going to be setting up their next leg down. If they break that 108 mark or like even 105, it's going to get ugly from there. So watch that. I got in on the put side. I believe I got October 95s for like 30 cents, and I'm going to probably average down on those because those are pretty far out the money. I want to get more time and see, but scaling it with 37 cents, we'll see what we'll go from there. And then lastly, watch BABA again if there is positive news. I think BABA could be a good leading or lagging indicator, especially for some of these Asian stocks. So watch them, and then even on the upside, I want to see how NetEase performs and if that does a little bit better. So that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure you're hydrated, ready to go. Like the video, subscribe, be in the game, be positive, be respectful, be there in the morning. It's better to be late than wrong. Don't force it, baby. Contribute, source that information. This is where we do things, baby. You got to be smart. Keep that YOLO demon in the cage. I want you guys to be defined snipers. Don't let emotions get to you. We've been here before, so get ready, get patient, and that's been may the strong survive. May the strong survive. And it's okay. If you do get clapped, you could always come back next month. You have the budget. Hopefully you've been paying attention. But honestly, don't let your emotions get the best of you. There's no need to have FOMO. If you can't get excited without getting FOMO, don't get excited. But you could get excited. There's a lot that's going to happen. This is why I always say, it doesn't matter if you make money, you lose money, you're going to learn something. This is history. You're going to get to see what's going to happen. You're going to see a bunch of stuff. But stop getting FOMO. It's not that serious. Go crazy. I need to make money. You're just acting like a complete weirdo. So just chill. Let the plays come to us. That's why I said watch all this stuff. I'm waiting for the same exact thing, and let's get ready to execute, baby. So let's go.